Yikes. Look at these puddles. Got to be careful walking through here. I am just exiting Finch subway station, and just in front of me here will be the intersection of Yonge and Finch. As you can see, it's a foggy and rainy day. We really need to do something about the drainage down at the bottom of those steps. And here's Yonge and Finch. And hello, today is Saturday, March 25th. The time right now is just after 4:30 p.m. and the temperature is around 3 degrees Celsius. And I just finished recording a walk that came north up from Shepherd. I finished up right around where I'm standing. So for this one, I'm going to walk north from Yonge and Finch up to Steeles Avenue. And that is the northern boundary of the city of Toronto. And at that intersection, three cities meet. As an unnecessarily loud car rolls by. So at the northeast corner will be the city of Markham, and at the northwest corner will be the city of Vaughan. I've still got a ways to go to get up there. There's the North American Center where I used to work back in 2006 and 2007. I actually worked in that tower right there. And Finch Station, which I believe opened in 1974, was the northern terminus to Line 1, or it is. There's a planned 8-kilometer extension. There's a bus terminal there. So this walk will take us past one of the future subway station sites, and it'll finish up at another one. And then it'll head north up through Markham and into Richmond Hill. So if you want to go north of Finch, you have to transfer to a bus, and you have a few different options. You could take one of the TTC buses. The busiest ones seem to be the Steeles buses, particularly the one that goes west on Steeles. But you can also board a York Region Viva bus, which you could grab at this bus terminal here. There's also Go buses that'll take you out to various parts of suburbia that you can catch there as well. And the Finch Hydro Corridor runs through here. I've recorded that a few times on the channel. That runs east-west. You could see the driver of that BMW speeding up to make the light. He had plenty of time. There goes a 53 Steeles East bus with a 60A Steeles West bus right behind it. And I think this guy wants to get on one of those. And there goes another 53 Steels bus. And a GO Transit bus, which appears to be at the end of the line. And let me know down in the comments if you know if these Steels buses are no longer going to run at a Finch station once the subway opens. I would think once the subway runs up to Steels, there'll be no more Steels East and Steels West, and there'll just be one Steels bus. There's the 97 bus. That's a surface level bus that, well, of course it's surface level, but it runs along the Yonge Street subway line at surface level. And a York Region Viva bus. So if you're a fan of bus spotting, this would be an excellent spot in the city to do that. And you can even enter Finch Station right here. And we're going to see a lot more condos pop up along this corridor. And definitely now that the subway extension has been approved. Although it is being built by Metrolinx, or at least they're looking after or overseeing the construction project, so there's a good chance it won't actually be running in our lifetime. But just up here on the right, where this new condo is, used to be a very large plaza. That one had a Bolorama bowling alley in it and a large supermarket. There was an excellent congee restaurant. And back when I was working at the North American Center just south of here, that was a common place for us to go at lunchtime. And speaking of big puddles, yikes. I crossed over those pebbles. Oh well, my socks are dry. Mission accomplished. It is amazing how much louder cars sound when there's water all over the roads and streets. They're loud enough, but it just seems to amplify everything. And coming up is the intersection of Drury and Cummer in the heart of Newtonbrook. And that's where a future subway station will be. And at least prior to the pandemic, there were concerns during the morning rush hour. By the time those trains got to busy stations like Eglinton, no one would ever be able to get on. I used to commute south to the financial district from Eglinton on the subway every morning. And there were mornings where I would have to wait 3, 4, sometimes even 5 trains just to get on. And even then, you would just kind of squish on. So there's been some very valid concerns that extending the subway up to cater to suburbanites is going to give them first dibs of a seat and leave people in the city who have been relying on the subway for quite a while kind of out in the dark. 38-story tower planned for here. I'm not sure where exactly the subway station will be. I would guess on this corner here. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Metrolinx knocks down the buildings on any of these corners here. There's a funky looking bus. And you'll notice a lot of Korean and other Asian establishments in this area. That's kind of just a continuation of Willowdale to the south of here. I can barely tell what this place even is. Spice and Aroma. I guess that's their way of politely saying, if you only speak English, this isn't for you. And various dialects of Chinese and Korean are the second and third most spoken languages in this area. I don't think I've ever seen that before. There is such a big puddle over there. At first I thought he had some kind of vacuum. I would imagine there's a blockage in a drain or something like that. And he's trying to clear it out. I kind of wish I was on that side of the street. And you'll notice this area is dominated by suburban style strip malls with the parking out front. There's also a heavy Middle Eastern Canadian presence in this area, as you'll see by a number of the establishments. Brown Donkatsu. And to the north of here, I'll be finishing up around Centerpoint Mall, a mall that is scheduled to be demolished in the near future, and it'll be replaced by a big condo complex. And that bus will be ending up at Pioneer Village Station, which is right at the north end of York University. Currency exchanges. I need to pick up some foreign currency, but I've always found it's better to just bring Canadian cash and do it wherever you arrive. You tend to get a better rate that way. There's let's see. There's a cash for gold with a Delta exchange. Right next to it is a money exchange. There's a place called Toronto Exchange, a place called Darvish Exchange, a cash for gold and money exchange, Shahan Exchange. And over here we have Toronto Exchange. I don't know if that's a play on Toronto. And another one, currency exchange. And I wouldn't be surprised if I missed a few. And across the street, Baham Mini Exchange, Rajal Exchange. What is up with all these exchanges? There's another currency exchange up there. I can't imagine the market for that being strong enough. Azizi Exchange as well, two more over there. There's another one over there. This has got to be like the exchange capital of the world. There's another one. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm surprised I haven't noticed that before. I've walked through this area plenty of times. If you were to play a drinking game and take a shot every time you saw a currency exchange, you'd be in a hospital by now. or at least on your way to it, or very much in need of one. The Nikon Exchange. If you know what's up with that, let me know down in the comments. Although I will be needing to pick up some USD, some more USD as I'm going to Vietnam. And that's not a currency I really want to exchange there, as it's not their native currency. Although as a tourist, they tend to prefer that you pay in USD, and they'll usually give you change in Vietnamese dong, which I often just convert to tips for housekeeping and that sort of thing. It's usually just pocket change. But you have to be careful, because if the dollars aren't in pristine condition, they'll often reject them. And that's something I found in the Dominican as well when I was just there. And there is Centerpoint Mall. It's been there for over 55 years. And you can classify that as a regional mall. But as I mentioned, there's going to be a number of condos going up on that lot, ranging between 4 and 50 stories. It's a bit of a shame because it's kind of a neat little mall, and they've got a very large Canada Computers. There's a Kanji Queen. Jollibee recently opened up there. It's got a Hudson's Bay. It would have been a good candidate for one of the new Zellers locations. In fact, I think there used to be a Zellers there. That is where Target set up one of their ill-fated shops. One of the biggest retail expansions in the history of North American retail. I think it was the biggest, actually. There's a fascinating story behind that. They basically tried to open up all their stores at once instead of opening up a few at a time and going through a teething process of getting their inventory and warehouse management system in line. So a lot of Target stores had empty shelves and their warehouses were full, but their computers weren't smart enough to allocate the right products into the stores. So it quickly developed a reputation for having mostly empty shelves. And I think the culprit was, rather than adapting their American system to Canada, they bought one off the shelf and just tried to make it work, and obviously it didn't. There's some really good YouTube videos on the failure of Target Canada, and if that type of thing is up your alley. Well, we seem to be out of the Exchange District. Abitibi Avenue. That's a fun name. So the neighborhood just to the north of Steeles Avenue here is known as Thornhill. And Yonge Street divides the city of Markham and the city of Vaughan. And to the left, Steeles Avenue divides the city of Toronto and the city of Vaughan. And to the right, it divides Toronto and Markham. A currency exchange. There's a place called High Life, and next to it is a place called Munchies. That's clever. And there was a period during the pandemic where businesses were open north of Steeles Avenue, but to the south they were closed. I can thank our idiotic premier for that decision. I remember standing here recording as there was an endless flow of traffic and people just going north to south over the border. So this was the magic line where you could get sick if you got a haircut to the south, but all was good if you did it to the north. That's what happens when you have a premier who has a personal vendetta against your city. And he did get called out for it, but he just shrugged his shoulders and said, I know it's not fair. Really, they should have just classified all of the GTA as one region and treated it consistently. And draw this bizarre and arbitrary line in the sand at Steeles. Anywho, there's a look over at the city of Markham. And a look over at the city of Vaughan. But I'll be staying in Toronto. And I'll be getting on one of these buses, actually. There's Centrepoint Mall. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this walk through Newtonbrook here in North York. That's a 97F Yonge Street bus. I could actually take that all the way down. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Yeah, let's take it.
Southbound towards Davisville Station via Yonge Boulevard.
Thank you.
Next stop, Athabasca Avenue.
So I do not even have to get off and transfer to the subway. I could just stay on here if I want. Anywho, if you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing below these videos as well. All right, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.
Next stop, Moore Park Avenue.
Yoink!